Hello, Alan Patching here with another post for Transforming Minds. One of the most frequent questions I'm asked is what's the difference between a psychiatrist, a psychologist and a psychotherapist? And it's an interesting question, so I'm going to answer it for you here today. It'll particularly be of interest to people who are seeking help with regard to some of the challenges they're facing in life. Let's start at the top of the tree. A psychiatrist is a medically trained person who's done their basic medical training to become a GP with all the residency and internship, etc. associated with that, and just like any other specialist went on to do further years of study in that field of specialty. So in the same way as an obstetrician spends years learning about the delivery of babies, etc., a psychiatrist spends years learning about the depths of the functioning of the brain and the diseases associated with the brain, etc. Now, a psychiatrist is different in Australia from the others in that a psychiatrist has the authority and the right to prescribe drugs for mental illnesses, etc. So the psychiatrist, in all respect, is a fully trained doctor. A psychologist is someone who's gone to university and studied specifically, it could be in various fields of psychology, but typically in the therapeutic field we're looking at here in clinical psychology, would have studied the field of research into that field in particular, and in terms of interventions for people with illnesses and anxieties, etc., they would study cognitive behavioural therapy, commonly known as CBT in particular. Now, post-training, they may do some other training in various other associated skills of therapy. However, in Australia, they do not have the right to prescribe medication. In America, that's different for some states, but in Australia, they do not have the right to prescribe medication. Now, a psychologist might be someone who a doctor refers you to under a mental health scheme or whatever for a government or because you need assistance to get counselling and help with a problem, and in particular to receive cognitive behavioural therapy work. Now, most psychologists, I think all in Australia, their accreditation is via the Australian Psychologists Association, and they also set to a large degree the standards to be achieved by universities in educating these people. Now, in the field of psychotherapy, it broadens out a bit. Most psychiatrists would be trained in psychotherapy. Psychotherapy can be eclectic or integrative. Eclectic means the practitioner would operate using a range of different techniques, not just cognitive behavioural therapy, but things, for example, like Gestalt therapy, some forms of, say, Rogerian counselling or Gestalt counselling, maybe some techniques from each of these fields, such as empty chair technique, a range of different possibilities come into the field of integrative counselling, and they could be either humanistic in style or they could be more what we call psychodynamic. Humanistic being more in the moment and dealing with past problems by attitudes and behaviours today, whereas psychodynamic might be looking